All right, after 20 years, we finally got it working. And we sandwiched here in between the clothes because we won't be in anybody else's way. But here we are for the second edition of the WalmartLog featuring Walker The Geek. Now, I met this man about, 2 years ago?
Yeah?
Yeah, because it was right after the second Comic Palooza that I was here for. Well, I wasn't there for the event, but...
In town for.
In town for, yeah. I just recently moved to Houston the year prior, maybe, and I missed it just by
centimeters.
But I seen you on the internet, specifically Instagram, and I was just like, he went to that thing that I wanted to go to, so I needed to know more. I reached out to you. You was a guest on the show, and here we are some 2 years later.
Look at that. Look how far I've come.
Yes. I had an innuendo right there, but I'm just leave it at that. Just how. But anyway, man, since then, I've seen you via the internet and everything, just going from convention to convention to convention to convention.
All over the place.
How is that experience for you?
First of all, it's tiring. It's very tiring. Driving, when you live in the state of Texas, it takes a long time to get anywhere, even to the other side of town.
Yes.
A couple of months ago, we were in Mount Bellevue.
Yes.
And that's just the other side of town. That's a 2.5, almost 3 hour drive. And but I was at a convention there all day. There's conventions going on just about every single month. And so when you're talking about 2.5 to 6 hour drive out to a convention, you're like, am I really gonna drive all the way out there for a convention? And
so you talked about Mount Bellevue and everything. What was the farthest you ever drove for a convention?
Yellow City Con, I believe it's in Amarillo.
Yeah.
I think that's in Amarillo. It's about 6 hours, 7 hours, I think, drive. I did that one a few years ago, before I was all into the podcasting and the making a name for myself in the convention scene.
So you was just there,
I was just
like
there. I was there as a fan, because I'd been going to Comic Palooza for several years, and I had never been able to make it to Dallas Fan Expo, which is the big deal that goes on in Texas. Nationally, yeah. Fan Expo has been going on for a very long time.
Okay.
20 years, I think, thereabouts. But that's the place where you can easily find all of the big name celebrities and things of that nature. And Stan Lee was a regular at Fan Expo. Rest in peace.
Yeah, tip my hat.
But traveling around the convention scene is very tiring a lot of the time. I'm hoping eventually to end up out of state at some stuff down the road.
Yeah. So I mean, you talked about driving 6 hours to go to that thing or whatever. I mean, what was the drive and what made you say, I'm taking this drive to go to this specific convention?
Wow.
Do you even remember?
I honestly don't remember why. I was going out there to meet somebody who actually ended up not showing up, if I remember correctly.
Stood up.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
And it happens all the time. You go to conventions to see a specific person, and they don't show up. Several years ago, even at Comic Palooza, when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was gaining traction on TV, when it was real big on TV, the whole cast was supposed to be there. And I was going to show up and I was going to get autographs from everybody. I had a comic book that had the entire cast on it. I was going to get them all to sign it. And then the lady Chloe Bennett, who plays Daisy on the show, decided that she couldn't be there. She didn't want to be there. She had someplace else she had to be. So my whole plan was foiled. And that particular year, I was in other places at the convention, and about a half hour after they did their whole thing on the show floor, where they all came out and everybody was standing in line. I didn't buy any tickets to go get any autographs. About a half hour later, she showed up out of the blue. Didn't tell nobody. She just showed up. So I was disappointed at that.
I'm sorry for your luck.
Me too, because I really wanted to meet her.
Now you over the past 2 years or whatever, is when I've really seen you starting to hit different conventions here, there, and there. What was the change for you? Was it just to kind of like get Walker the Geek out there, or just?
It's really just a kind of a chance to branch out and to kind of put it out there that, hey, there's other stuff going on other than San Diego Comic-Con and other things going on than New York Comic-Con.
Which are expensive.
And yeah, just to even get out there during that period of time and to stay out there is outrageous. And yeah, to kind of put it out there that, hey, there's other stuff going on, even stuff beyond Comic Palooza. And I'm a huge supporter of Comic Palooza forever. But there's always other stuff going on. Yeah, just about every month there is something going on in the southern and eastern region of Texas, some convention.
Yeah.
And it's usually a nerd convention.
Yeah, 2019 was like the first time I ever got out with the podcast and go to these conventions, like thanks to you and some of the other local podcasters here. They put me on to Comic Palooza. They put the word in for me, so I was very appreciative of that. And I was able to get around and that was really my first convention ever, just like period in life.
Yeah.
So it was just mind blowing to just see how people just love their material, the comic books, their characters, just the art is just
even
crazy.
beyond comic books, you see a lot of people walking around doing cosplay and anime characters, especially since My Hero Academia. If you're going to a convention and you don't see a group of middle school or early high schoolers walking around cosplaying My Hero Academia, then I feel like you're in the wrong place.
How new is that? Because
they're on season 4. They've been around for a long time.
Okay. Right.
So, it's real popular with the, middle schoolers, high schoolers, kind of,
people who love anime, because I didn't know nothing about it until Bellevue.
And I actually didn't start watching My Hero Academia until recently. When it first started a few years ago, I couldn't get into it. I was like, this is not something for me. But I started watching when season 4 premiered. I caught up, and I like it.
Word.
I watch it every week now.
Another interesting thing throughout this whole podcast and doing the conventions, running into you and everything. I don't even think we discussed it whenever you was a guest on my show, but you have like a theater or acting background?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. It's something a lot of people don't know about me. I've got
I do, because I found out.
I actually grew up in theater. It's something growing up that I always had a passion on. But I never did anything with after high school. It's something, one of those things you kind of regret growing up, But it is what it is. Doing a podcast gives me an opportunity to kind of put that out there, and to kind of be different characters. If you listen to the show, especially the early episodes of the show, I do a whole bunch of different characters. I'm a character.
Yeah, but I heard you do some impressions and everything, or whatever, just on a whim.
Oh, those aren't impersonations. That's me. That's all inside me. Yeah. Don't let the voice fool you. Okay, laddie. It's all inside here. It's all up in here too. A lot of the time, it's all telling me to do stuff up in here too.
Randy Orton, everybody. His voice is in his head.
Randy Orton.
What you say that with a little disdain.
Randy Orton and CM Punk. Just retire already. You're washed up.
Well, CM Punk already retired.
Yeah, but he still won't go away.
Oh, okay. So you want him to go?
He ain't retired. He say he retired. He ain't retired.
So the way you feel about CM Punk and Randy Orton is how I feel currently about The Undertaker, is what you're saying. I have cameras on my face. I have all the respect in the world for The Undertaker. When I found professional wrestling from as far back as I can remember.
All right. He's not gonna sneak up on you.
Yeah, I know. We in Texas. This is where you're from. But as long as I've been a wrestling fan, he has been a professional wrestler.
That is true.
Shit. Nothing but respect. But this motherfucker, I'm cussing because I'm angry. This dude constantly keeps coming back, and he won't die, and he won't go away, and he's just like, he's not physically able to do this shit no more.
Hogan?
Don't even get me started on that. Don't even anyway, theater. You say you do everything, the podcast to kind of give you that platform back to,
sure,
reconnect with your theater roots and whatnot. So, have you ever thought about maybe producing content that specifically caters to that, to where like you do the different characters and everything, and it's just specifically for that purpose?
You know, conveniently enough, it's like you've been reading my diary. Conveniently enough, there have been a few times where I have auditioned to do, and for those of you who listen to podcasts, you've probably heard a lot of the drama podcasts that are out there. There have been a few times where I've auditioned to do some stuff like that. I've never gotten anything. Maybe someday. I think that would be kind of cool to do, especially since it would get my voice acting chops wet.
And now, I mean, you have the training in the background for that. Now, for me, I've done a couple of things to where I had to read lines for a show or certain characters, because I know a podcast called The Derailers, and they take the WWE 2K games and they make storylines and characters surrounding, with the game physics and whatnot. So I have a character within their little federation that I would have to do voiceovers for. So what I found it hard to do was like just to read the lines and not have the match material in front of me, because like if I can see what the character's doing, I can kind of read for that. And I got I think a YouTube clip of me just kind of doing the lines, and I just feel awkward as fuck.
It does. It seems pretty awkward. And for a lot of the time, a lot of the voice actors that I know and a lot of voice actors that I talk to, they feel pretty awkward themselves. Yeah. And they go in and they're reading lines while they're looking at the video that's going on in front of them, and they tell them, hey, when the timer hits this mark, you read this line, and they do feel pretty awkward sometimes, and it feels pretty awkward sometimes when you're doing that. It's, I praise the guys over, for those of you who watch YouTube who've ever seen bad lip reading. Those bad lip reading guys do those. I have nothing but respect for what those guys do. Those guys, my wife hates the fact that I have a talent that I can kind of take a song, change the lyrics, and make it something funny or dirty on a whim. And she hates that about me, but those bad lip reading guys, they are just, oh my God.
It'd be something stupid like, yeah, you put tuna fish on my sandwich. What the hell is that?
I mean, the Seagulls Leave Me Alone song that they came up with. I mean, they make T-shirts about that now.
What was it? I had something. The epic rap battles in history or whatever. What do you think about? You remember those?
Epic rap battles.
To where they have an Abraham Lincoln.
I always remember the princess rap battles, the Disney princess rap battles.
Yeah,
I always remember those.
People that did that.
Probably. And a lot of famous people have done those. Oddly enough, I think Drew Barrymore did one of those characters. I don't remember which one, but it's like, I mean, that stuff is really, I could never write something like that.
Back up a little bit. Because you're getting in front of the camera. Yeah. So what's next? I mean, because the podcasting game is like a tale of evolution and everything. You start at one point and you want to end up better than what you started at. And so, I mean, what's next for you? I know you're going out, getting your face and name out there, doing these conventions, but is there anything else beyond that?
I got a YouTube channel where I do YouTube stuff on. I'm really going to start focusing on doing more stuff on that YouTube channel.
Same.
You're
on YouTube right now?
YouTube, that's right. Search Walker The Geek on YouTube. And shameless plug, if you head over to WalmartLog right now, up until February the 5th, you can find something that you can't find on my YouTube channel, which is the Battle Royale with Cheese that went down last week. And you can find that in its entirety on my website, WalmartLog right now up until February the 5th.
Word. And that's all sponsored in part by Comic Palooza.
That's right. YouTube, my YouTube channel, it is not all up yet.
Yeah.
So, you have an opportunity to get out there and watch it before everybody else does. That was 3.5 hours, so I couldn't upload that all at once.
I got in at the last hour or so.
Yeah.
Which I would have been there, but I'd rather spend some time with my children and take them to see wrestling and stuff. They couldn't sit still, and
of course not.
Just in and out of it, and
of course not. I mean, that was all kinds of fun, I'm sure. I think the guys from 3 Beers and a Mic were there.
Yeah. Who was that dick with the hat on?
Which one?
Yeah, I'm calling you out, goddammit. The one that wouldn't shut up. The one that kept talking over everybody.
I have no idea. There were 2 of them.
Okay. Not the one that looked like Silent Bob.
Oh, no. He dresses like Silent Bob everywhere he goes.
Yeah, not him.
That's like his only wardrobe. No, there were two of them. There was the other guy had a hat on too. Yeah, both of them had long hair, and both of them had. Well, one of them had a big scraggly beard, and the other one was kind of.
Yeah, the one in the trench coat is not the one I'm talking about.
No, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's a pretty good guy. Those other two. You know, that's sometimes. I think he's from Two Gentlemen No Class or Gentlemen No Class.
You definitely
something like that. He definitely has no class. And that's their shtick. So, you know. But yeah, I feel like the next thing for me is tech. I'm a real big tech guy. I'm a huge tech guy. Oh man, if you've ever watched any of my YouTube videos, you can see in the back on the shelves amongst all of the comic books how much tech is sitting on my shelf. And trust me, there's more sitting on the desk next to me. So
see, you kind of pull me in to, because I like electronics and everything as well. But you know, I see you come in with your next level stuff, and I'm just like,
yes.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Now I gotta go down.
We're not at this point. We're not keeping up with the Joneses. We're keeping up with the Walkers.
Yeah, we're keeping up with this guy. So it's like right now, one of these cameras is one of them I got off a recommendation to him.
Now, to be fair though, I mean, you're running around with iPhone 11 Pro. Yeah. I didn't pick up a Pro.
Hey, so this is just specifically for this purpose that we're doing right now. You know, it wouldn't. I don't even know what else I would need an iPhone 11 Pro for, but this is like the only thing that I can think of that would serve that purpose.
See, and the only thing I feel like the iPhone 11 Pro has over the 11 in and of itself is just that extra wide-angle camera. Yeah. Like, why? I don't know. Maybe. I don't have a use for it. But then again, I also have a really nice mirrorless camera that I like. So, you know, but.
And that was another thing that kind of drew me more toward that or whatever, because of portability.
Portability is a good thing.
I have all kind of mirrorless cameras and everything too. I mean, I have a picture on Instagram of like 6 of them bitches sitting on my dresser.
Yeah, they just they just gather dust.
Yeah, so it's like with this, I can just pop it in my pocket and put it in the gimbal like how it is now, and that's it. Yeah. But with the other camera, I had to have the battery pack, I had the right lens, I had to have the little attachment, the little joint on top, whatever, and you know, it get kind of heavy. This not so much.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm not holding it anyway, so.
I mean, did you see my video rig last year at Comic Book that I was walking around with? I mean, and that's just the small version. That's my compact carrying around version. Yeah. So yeah, I think the next big thing for me is tech. Yeah. I think that's kind of where my evolution is headed.
Yes, I would recommend it. Walker the Tech. Geek. I mean, put tech in front of geek. There you go.
Well, I mean, I'm still geeky for tech, so. You know, I think Walker the Geek pretty much just kind of sums up who I am in and of a whole. Whether it's comic books, tech, anime, whatever, video games. I mean, that just sums up me as a whole.
You know, something silly. Anytime I hear the word anime, I think about what's that shit? That movie, What's Love Got to Do with the Tina Turner and Ike Turner? Because he called her anime. And I just like, eat the cake, anime.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. That always pops in my head. That's just me, though. Sorry.
Heyo.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it's been a pleasure to sit here and chat with you in the men's section of Walmart.
Men's section of Walmart.
Some bras in the background over there. I hope we kind of crop that out. But as always, you know, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Oh, thank you for letting me be on.
The WalmartLog. And just stand by for another edition whenever that may be. Hopefully it'll be some more local Houston podcasters such as Walker.
Hopefully.
Not as cool though, because he's the coolest.
I mean,
until the next guest come on, then they're the coolest.
That's
but he's
true.
The coolest right now.
That's true. Hey, shout out to the guys over at Cult 45. You guys are the coolest.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Brian.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the Amish Baby Machine podcast for sending me this cool shirt and everything that I got on right now. It's nice, sleek, and comfy. Show off my guns a little bit. So, that's it. All right.
Bye.
Hey, yo, your boy B-Rob here. Hope you enjoyed this second edition of the WalmartLog and everything. But we got out of there in such a haste and whatnot that we didn't do our outros. We didn't tell you where to find us on social media. So here I am in my studio-ish movie room / game room / entertainment room / everything but a podcast studio to let you know where you can find me on social media. You can find me on Twitter at 3R Show. You can also find me on Instagram at the 3R Show. You can also find me on Facebook by doing facebook.com/3R Show or searching the Random Realms with Rob on Facebook. You can also find everything that I missed because you're on YouTube right now, so I shouldn't have to tell you where to find me on YouTube. But everything that I may have missed, you can find that on randomrob.com. And if you're interested in my guest, Walker the Geek, you can find him on Instagram at, I'm doing this in real time because I didn't prepare. You can find him on Instagram at Walker the Geek. Walker the Geek, all one word. Also, you can find him on Twitter at, and I'm just making sure this is verification, I don't want to give y'all bad info, Walker the Geek. And you can go to walkerthegeek.com for anything I may have missed. Just like you can go to randomrob.com and find all the many different ways to support the show, whether it be Patreon, buying merchandise or anything like that. But the best thing that you can do to help support my podcast, my videos, and all this stuff is hit the subscribe button, freaking download the podcast, share it, write a review. And those go a really long way, and those are free. So thank you once again, and I'll see you next time.